Hi, Tony. So we are here at Google Zeitgeist in London.
Yep.
And we just went for a run.
Yes, 5 miles, and Loic runs much faster than I do, so
Yeah?
I'm still out of breath and sweating.
Yeah, we did like 40 minutes and something. Pretty bad. So you've sold your company for $1.2 billion last year? Yeah, that's all news, right? Why did you write the book?
Yeah, my book's
He's
called...
dead.
I'm still catching my breath. My book's called Delivering Happiness, and the subtitle is Path to Profits, Passion, and Purpose. And it comes out June 7th, and I actually finished writing it last year, and it basically covers everything from when I was a kid selling lemonade to pizza business in college, Link Exchange, the previous company I co-founded, and then all the way through Zappos, the early days of Zappos, where we struggled a lot and almost went out of business lots of times, and then finally all the way up to the Amazon acquisition. And part of the reason for writing the book was because we made a lot of mistakes along the way, and hopefully the book will help other businesses and entrepreneurs I'm sorry, still out of breath, learn from some of the mistakes we made. And
so give me a few examples of the worst mistakes you've made.
A lot of it is actually just in the hiring process, and for the previous company, Link Exchange, the reason we actually ended up selling it was because the culture just went downhill, and it just wasn't a fun place for me to go into the office anymore. And that was a really strange feeling, because this was a company I co-founded and then kind of lost control of the culture. And so with Zappos, wanted to make sure that I didn't make the same mistake again. So talk about a lot of the process we've gone through, and to make sure that our culture not only doesn't go downhill, but actually gets stronger as we grow.
So culture is the most important thing, you would say, if you started a new business?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you define that? Because especially in Europe, you wouldn't say culture for a company.
Yeah,
you would keep culture for
Yeah, it seems like one of those soft things. And originally, the only reason I wanted to make sure we didn't have a bad culture was just for myself personally. But it turns out that I don't know if you've heard the book Good to Great by Jim Collins.
No, but I'm looking forward to reading it.
Highly recommend that. And then there's another great book called Tribal Leadership. And both of those books researched and looked at what separated the great companies in terms of long-term financial performance from just the good ones. And one of the key ingredients that they found the great companies had that the good ones didn't was that they had very strong cultures. And so for us, we formalized the definition of our culture into 10 core values. And a lot of companies have, they might call them core values or guiding principles or so on, but the problem is usually they're very lofty sounding. They sound like a press release that the marketing department put out. Whereas we really wanted to make sure that we could come up with core values that we really committed to. And by committing, meaning we're willing to hire and fire people based on whether they're living up to the core values, independent of their job performance.
And so if I started a little business and we're 3-5 people, you would recommend to set a culture?
Yeah. Well, definitely figure out the core values earlier. We didn't actually figure ours out until 5 or 6 years into it, and if I could do it all over again, I would do it from day one.
Yeah,
sure.
I should probably
it's
do
so
that.
much easier.
So where do you start? You take
well, if it's just a few people, the easiest way to start is just figuring out your own personal values, and that's something that I've never had to think about before, and most people probably don't explicitly think about, and it's actually pretty hard to think about, to actually come up with a complete list of your own personal values. But there's different techniques for helping discover what they are. For example, think about the people that you really enjoy being around or hanging out with. And usually that's because you have values in common. And then think about the people that annoy you or you don't like being around, and that's usually because there's a values disconnect.
I can think of a few people.
Well, but that's usually because you have some value or one or more values that aren't in common. So that can help you come up with your list.
I'll try to do that today. So tell me a few mistakes when you're telling in the book.
So definitely made a lot of mistakes.
No culture. Okay, that's one.
Yeah, culture or hiring. And in the early days of Zappos, we spent a lot of money on marketing, and that almost drove us out of business. And then that's when that kind of forced us to when we ran out of money, to really focus on customer service to get our existing.
So you ran out of money?
We almost ran out of money. There were weeks we couldn't pay vendors or even our own employees. And it was a very
But that
scary time.
culture doesn't save you from
It actually
not being
did,
able
because I think if we didn't have people that really were passionate, not only about what we were trying to do at Zappos, but also passionate about the team we were building and about each other, then I think we would have just given up and would have never made it.
Did you give a lot of options to your team, especially when it goes down like this? I guess it's a good way to incentivize them to.
The early employees all had options in the company, but it really wasn't. I think for us, it really wasn't about
Money?
the options, or the money, and I think that's part of it. Was actually, and actually, it's funny you bring that up, because the second ingredient that Good to Great and Tribal Leadership found that's separated the great companies in terms of long-term financial performance from just the good ones or the mediocre ones was the great ones they found had a vision and higher purpose beyond just money or profits or being number one in a market. And kind of the ironic thing is, if there is that higher purpose, the money actually follows. Like, they actually become more successful financially when they're not going directly after the money. And for us, that was something else we accidentally stumbled into when we were just starting. We just wanted to be the number one retailer of shoes, and then about 4 years into it, we kind of asked ourselves, what do we want to be when we grow up? Do we want to be just about shoes, or something bigger and more meaningful? And that's when we decided we wanted to be about customer service. And when we did that, then what we found was that employees were suddenly a lot more passionate and engaged about the company, and vendors, when they came, would want to come more often and stay longer because the passion rubbed off of them. And then customers could sense the person on the other end of the phone wasn't there just for a paycheck working 9 to 5, but truly believed in what they were doing and wanted to provide great service. All of these things just had a snowball effect that really drove a lot of our growth.
And so if, like, there are many entrepreneurs watching this who actually want to just start their business, they haven't done it, what would be your 3 or 5 rules? So one is establish a culture, even if it's you alone or very small.
Definitely figure out what your values are, your personal values, and ideally the company's values will match your personal values.
What would be your ones?
I would say whatever you're doing, make sure that you're so passionate about doing it that you'd be happy doing it for 10 years, even if you didn't make any money from it. And I see, you've done, how many years have you done the web for?
6.
6 years. And, in all my conversations with you, you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it just...
we break even. But I do this to actually make the room happy. And I get all year long, I get people...
But I think that's part of the reason why it's so successful, right? Is because you're not doing it, you're not trying to maximize the profits from it. You're doing it because you're passionate about it. And now
so find something which you have passion for.
Definitely.
And what would be a third one?
And then a third one, so culture, passion, and then just making sure that figure out the higher purpose of the company. That's not about money, profits, revenue, and that you really believe in, and that you can also either
communicate,
recruit employees that believe in, or get your existing employees to get on board with.
One more.
One more. I would say, I have this thing where I personally hate networking events where people are just trying to change.
Come on, I keep seeing you at networking events.
No, but that's but when I go and like we run into each other and
all the time.
Yeah, but it's more just because we enjoy each other's company, right?
I'm teasing you.
But we've never actually done business together.
No, we should, but that's for...
maybe one day we will. And so for me, it's really about, rather than, because a lot of people, especially salespeople, go to networking events trying to exchange business cards and so on.
Yeah, we don't do that.
I don't really,
right.
But for me, it's really just about, finding people that you enjoy just being around, even if you didn't have to do business together. And that's kind of how we approach things at Zappos, just people we whether it's employees or future business partners, just people we enjoy being around. And then usually 2 or 3 years down the line, something random happens that you would never expect. That's actually good for business. But the initial motivation needs to be the friendship and just the personal connection.
But so why do you keep walking? You could just be like playing golf or something.
Well, I hate golf. No, I've never actually played a full round of golf. But I know I'm very bad at it.
That was just an example.
And, it goes back to what are you trying to do? And
so what are you trying to do?
Well,
you personally.
For me personally, the reason why I'm still at Zappos is really the culture and the people. It's not about
but you could have good people also among friends and just
Well, but that's exactly what we have, though.
Right. Oh, it's like a friendly. Yeah.
I mean, most Zappos employees, when they leave the office, leave to hang out with Zappos employees. That's what we do on weekends. We hang out with each other.
Huh. So you do barbecues and stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of people talk about work-life balance. For us, it's really about work-life integration. Like there isn't a separation. You
Some
should just
people
enjoy the whole
would find that sad, though. No separation between work and which I kind of do the same, but.
Well, you work with your wife.
Yeah. I am, but some people. Okay, what's like the thing we don't know about you? Something like really weird or
something really. Well, the book actually starts out with a story of when I was 9 years old. My first business idea was to raise earthworms, and have a worm farm and make lots of money off of selling worms. So. So
okay.
Does that count as weird?
Yeah, that qualifies.
All right.
Cool. And so tell me about this Zappos Insights business, because you've been doing I did a video actually, a all hands meeting.
Oh yeah.
Which was public on the internet.
Yeah, that was one of our. It kind of goes back to a lot of the stuff that we come up with is really driven by our core values. So one of our core values is about being open and honest and as transparent as possible, whether it's with customers or employees or vendors.
So you stream that?
Yes.
But come on, so if there is something really bad that happens, someone really screws up on something in your company, and let's say it goes that bad that you actually even have to let go of the employee, you will stream that on Ustream and stuff?
Well, no, but we also don't have company meetings where we fire people at the meeting.
No, that's a good point. But you're giving away weaknesses to your competition and so on. You don't mind about that? Are you actually? Isn't it like just all set up because you had speakers there and you see what I mean? It was like it. Was that a real all hands meeting?
Yeah, that was actually the real one, and it's something that we do once a quarter now. And actually, the idea to stream it live just came up I think a week and a half before that happened.
You're going to do that each time?
So yeah, we're going to definitely try to do that each time. It kind of depends on the venue. This one was at the Bellagio, and so they had the internet connectivity.
Yeah, Vegas is so tough.
But there's some places where it's hard to actually get a good internet
connection.
Insights.
So then now you have webinars that people can join to learn how to create a culture in their company. And it's becoming a business, right? You sell that.
Yeah.
You have a tour. The first insight is like taking the tour at Zappos. You should really take it.
Oh yeah.
You land in Vegas. Well, first you tell them beforehand, right? They pick you up at any airport.
Yeah.
Then
a Zappos shuttle.
Zappos shuttle, very nice shuttle and driver. And then they deliver you to their main office, which is like 20 minutes away from the street.
Yeah, we're actually only 5 minutes from the airport, and then afterwards, after the tour takes about an hour, and then afterwards we'll drop you off at your hotel.
So it's very. By the way, I filmed it and I had a problem with the camera, so I have to take it again to share it. But it's like the minimum. So it's kind of very organized. So you get a crown as a customer, then you get to meet all your employees who greet you, which is kind of weird but interesting. And you meet Tony if he's here too. Then you get a mail with a very nice rebate to buy something, which I use. Maybe you don't know about that.
Oh, I didn't.
You look surprised.
Well, it changes every day, and employees just add their own things.
Oh, I think I got like really like a 20%, I don't know, a very really nice one. And then you get like, if you want, you can start, like escalate this into, you can join a group meeting. I'm doing your
Yeah.
pitch here, Tony.
Well, there's all sorts of things. So the tours are free. You just go to tours.zappos.com, and we offer them to the public Monday through Thursdays. Anyone can sign up, and then we have. If you go to zapposinsights.com, there's a monthly video subscription service, all the way to you can sign up for a 2-day seminar at our offices, and
to get trained to create that culture. And
well, it's not. So one thing to make clear is because some people think, oh, we're trying to train other companies on the Zappos culture, but it's actually we're trying to help them figure out their values and build the culture that's right for them. And part of that are these different exercises to help figure out your own personal values and then the corporate values.
But you're doing this as a business along with the book. Like the brand is becoming. You're saying you have still a majority of sales coming from shoes, right?
Yeah, right now it's probably 80 to 85%.
But you're trying. Are you trying to make it a service business?
Eventually, I mean, we're just experimenting. We do a lot of experimenting, so we'll see what happens. But making it a business is almost it's almost like a side effect that enables us to continue to grow. But the main point of it is really more about this idea that you can 50 years ago most businesses had to choose between maximizing profits or making employees and customers happy. But because we're living now in this hyper-connected world with Twitter and blogging and so on, information travels so quickly. I think it's actually possible to make employees happy, make customers happy, and make investors happy, and with profits. And so that's part of what we're trying to spread, whether it's through Zappos Insights, and we've actually heard back from companies that have gone through it. And not even internet companies. There's one that's the Atlanta refrigeration company. They do refrigeration repairs, and they really focus on culture now. Employees are happy, customers are happy, and revenue and profits are up. So it's working beyond just Zappos, and our whole goal is to help spread this to other companies.
To make them happy.
Yeah, to make the well. So back to the title of the book, it's delivering happiness, and so we're trying to deliver happiness not just for our own employees and customers, but really, hopefully, it'll spread.
Just final word. Congrats for the book. I wish you good success with that, Tony. So you can get it on I pre-ordered it on the Kindle.
Okay. Yeah, June 7th.
You can sign my Kindle, June 7th. And but also just to finish with some trends, real quick. Foursquare. Do you like it or not?
I use it. I check in at airports and around Vegas to see where my friends are.
But are you you're not too addicted to it? You think it's going to stay, or it's going to be integrated into Twitter and Facebook and just disappear?
I don't know. I think if there's one thing I've learned over the past few years or 10 years is that your predictions are always wrong, so there's no point in predicting.
Yeah, that's because you don't want to answer.
No, it's true, though.
Twitter versus Facebook. You don't use Facebook?
I don't really use Facebook. I personally, Twitter's the only thing I use every single day.
Why not Facebook? It's public now, and
no, I just never really got it. Was for me, it was too time consuming.
But have you heard there is 500 million people out there? You could help deliver happiness to a lot of people.
Well, we have a Facebook page, fan page. I'm just not personally involved with it because I don't personally use it.
Google Buzz?
I've never used it. I actually haven't even seen it. So
Google Wave?
Have not seen or used it.
Okay. Augmented reality. Those the guy is here actually. Liar.
I've seen the Yelp has a monocle feature, which is pretty cool. You can, when you're down the street, you can. So I think that's cool.
Did you put the like button everywhere on Zappos? Have you Facebookized Zappos?
We have not, but we're looking into it.
Not too scary to give away all your.
I don't actually personally know enough about it. But we're looking. We have a team that's exploring that option.
Anything cool? If you created started a new business now, which is not helping people get more happiness, what would that be? Give me an idea that they can go and do now. Growing
I would
worms.
Do airlines.
An airline, the Zappos Airlines.
Yeah.
You were saying you took
opportunity.
You did Virgin America and you were not Virgin Atlantic and you were not too. Well,
I don't want to name any.
No,
names,
I did.
But
you're so careful.
Just
you never want to upset anyone, right?
Well, otherwise it's not delivering happiness. We're trying to make the world a
But
better
like,
place.
tell me, Tony, there must be moments where you're really upset about something or someone, right?
Well, I mean, there's two ways to look at it, right? So if you have a bad, and I travel quite a bit, you travel quite a bit, and you can let every time you get a bad experience at an airline upset you, or you can, every time that happens, I get more excited because that means there's that much more opportunity for Zappos Airlines.
So you see Zappos Airlines. Right? Here we go.
So
Zappos Airlines will look like powered by service. Anything special you will?
I want to put a bar on board,
Yeah.
and actually had this idea, which you would appreciate. And maybe this is a separate airline, but just think about all the things that take time, like going to the dentist or going to the doctor or running on a treadmill. Imagine if you had that on a plane, and so every time you traveled, you just
That's
get
an
that
interesting.
done, right?
So like everybody's scared about going to a dentist. That's an interesting
dentists might-
thought to have like a dentist chair in a plane.
Yeah.
That's first
Actually,
class.
dentists might
first
be,
class,
be
and they
not
torture you
yeah,
during.
I just hope there's no turbulence.
Oh yeah.
But or like if you go to a bar or club, usually you're there for a few hours. So just imagine if instead of thinking of it as travel, it's more like a mobile club or bar, and
the
that'll
plane
also
moves around.
when you walk out of the bar, you're in your destination.
David Guetta, a famous French DJ, is doing that to Ibiza.
Oh, yeah,
I
so
can.
DJ would be cool.
I can help you get organized on that. But they fly from Paris to like Ibiza, and the entire plane becomes a nightclub. You just warm up in the plane.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Tony Hsieh from Zappos at Zappos. I mean, you don't need much introduction there, but you read all your mentions, so we can add Zappos you and you read them, but you don't reply yourself. It's your team replying, right?
Well, so I write my own tweets, but there's a separate account, Zappos_service, that will reply to, because we get literally
So many.
Yeah, thousands.
He's a star.
And well, it's not just me, but the whole company. And so, and then for the book, we have a separate Twitter account, DH Book, which stands for Delivering Happiness. And then also check out the website, www.deliveringhappinessbook.com. And
it works because I feel quite happy after this conversation. All right, well, a good run helps.
yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.